Walter Marvin Koenig is an American actor, writer, teacher and director, known for his roles as Pavel Chekhov in Star Trek and Alfred Bester in the Babylon 5 series. He wrote the script for the 2008 science fiction legal thriller Inalienable. Early life. Koenig was born in Chicago, Illinois, the son of businessman Isidore Koenig and his wife Sarah. They moved to Manhattan when Walter was a child, where he went on to school. Koenig's parents were Russian Jewish immigrants from the Soviet Union. His family lived in Lithuania when they emigrated, and shortened their surname from Königsberg to Koenig. Koenig's father was a communist who was investigated by the FBI during the McCarthy era. Koenig attended Grinnell College in Grinnell, Iowa with a pre-med major. He transferred to UCLA and received a Bachelor of Arts in Psychology. After a professor encouraged Koenig to become an actor, he attended the neighborhood playhouse with fellow students Dabney Coleman, Christopher Lloyd, and James Caan. Career. Star Trek I was only one of 2 people who auditioned for the part, which is quite extraordinary, considering that this has so materially affected the last 35 years of my life. A couple of hours after I auditioned, I heard that I had gotten the role. Koenig. On being cast as Chekhov, Koenig played Ensign Pavel Chekhov, navigator on the US Enterprise. In the original Star Trek television series and in all of the movies featuring the original cast, one of only 2 actors to audition, he was cast as Chekhov almost immediately, primarily because of his resemblance to British actor-musician Davy Jones of the Monkees. Show creator Gene Roddenberry hoped that Koenig would increase the show's appeal to young people. As the 30-year-old's hair was already receding, costume designers fashioned a Davy Jones-style, mop-top, hairpiece for him. In later episodes, his own hair grew out enough to accomplish the look with a comb-over. Roddenberry asked him to ham up his Russian accent to add a note of comic relief to the series. Chekhov's accent has been criticized as inauthentic. In particular, Koenig's substituting the W sound in place of a V sound. Koenig has said the accent was inspired by his father, who had the same difficulty with the V sound. Most of Koenig's fan mail indeed came from children, and the high volume of letters contributed to him soon receiving a contract as a regular cast member. This surprised Koenig, who had been told that Chekhov would be a recurring role. When the early season 2 episodes of Star Trek were shot, George Takei was delayed while completing the movie The Green Berets, so Chekhov is joined at the Enterprise helm by a different character. When Takei returned, the 2 had to share a dressing room and a single episode script. This reportedly angered Takei to the point where he nearly left the show, but the 2 actors have since become good friends, to the point that Koenig was the best man at Takei's wedding in 2008. The image of their 2 characters manning the helm of the Enterprise became iconic. Koenig's Chekhov character never appeared in the animated Star Trek for budgetary reasons. However, he is credited with writing an episode of that series titled The Infinite Vulcan, making him the first original cast member to write a Star Trek story for television. He received Saturn Award nominations for Best Supporting Actor in a Film for both Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan and Star Trek IV: The Voyage Home. Koenig reprised his role of Pavel Chekhov for the fan web series Star Trek: New Voyages, To Serve All My Days, and the independent Sky Conway, Tim Russ film Star Trek: Of Gods and Men, both in 2006, and Star Trek: Renegades, in 2015. According to the teaser for Renegades episodes 2 and 3, this will be the last time Koenig reprises the role of Chekhov. Later work. After Chekhov, Koenig had a starring role as Psychop Alfred Bester on the television series Babylon 5. Koenig was the special guest star in 12 episodes and, at the end of the 3rd season, the production company applied for an Emmy nomination on his behalf. He was slated to play Bester on the spin-off series Crusade, but the series was cancelled before his episode was filmed. The character name of Alfred Bester was done as an homage to the science fiction writer of the same name. Koenig also played Oro in 2 episodes of the Canadian science fiction television series The Star Lost, which aired in 1973 on Canada's CTV television network. He also filmed a few FMV sequences for a re-released copy of the game Star Trek Starfleet Academy for PCs. Koenig's film, stage and TV roles span 50 years. He has played everything from a teenage gang leader to Scandinavian fiancé gunner TV show, Combat S1 EP12, The Prisoner, minor role as soldier on guard duty, to a Las Vegas entertainer. He also had a short role in the 1976 Columbo episode, Fade into Murder. He returned to space with a starring role in Moontrap and played a futuristic dictator in the video game Maximum Surge. The game was later cancelled, but considerable footage from it was recycled for the film Game Over, with Koenig's dialogue dubbed over in order to retrofit his performance into the role of a computer hard drive. During the early 90s he starred in a touring production of the play, The Boys in Autumn, playing a middle-aged Tom Sawyer, who reunites with childhood friend Huckleberry Finn. Fellow Trek actor Mark Leonard played Finn. In addition to acting, he has written several films, one-act plays, and a handful of episodes for TV shows. Star Trek, the animated series, Land of the Lost, Family and the Powers of Matthew Starr. He has also written several books, including Warped Factors, A Neurotic's Guide to the Universe, Chekhov's Enterprise and Buck Alice and the Actor Robot, which was re-released in 2006. He created his own comic book series called Raver, which was published by Malibu Comics in the early 1990s, and appeared as a special guest star in an issue of the comic book Eternity Smith, which features him prominently on its cover. In 2013 he released the graphic novel Walter Koenig's Things to Come, with artist J.C. Baez, published by Blue Water Comics, which compiled the 4 issues of the mini-series of the same name. Koenig has taught classes in acting and directing at UCLA, the Sherwood Oaks Experimental Film College, the Actors Alley Repertory Company in Los Angeles, and the California School of Professional Psychology at Alliant International University. In 2002, Koenig directed stage versions of 2 of the original Twilight Zone episodes for Letter Entertainment. In 1987, Koenig directed his original one-act play The Secret Life of Lily Langtry at the Theater of Note in Los Angeles. In 1989, Koenig starred in the science fiction film Moontrap as Mission Commander Colonel Jason Grant. In 1997, Koenig starred in Drawing Down the Moon, an independent film about a Wiccan woman who attempts to open a homeless shelter in a small Pennsylvania town. Koenig played Joe Merchant, a local crime lord obsessed with chaos theory who sends his thugs to intimidate her into shutting down the shelter. In 2004, Koenig co-starred in Mad Cow Girl, an independent movie about a meatpacking health inspector dying from a brain disorder, in which he played televangelist Pastor Dylan. The movie played the SF Indie Fest and the Silver Lake Film Festival, followed by a limited release in major cities. Mad Cow Girl was released on DVD on December 5, 2006. In 2007 he reunited with fellow Babylon 5 star Bruce Boxleitner for the movie Bone Eater. Koenig received the 2,279th star of the Hollywood Walk of Fame on September 10, 2012. In 2013, Koenig ventured into the steampunk genre, starring in the short film Cowboys and Engines alongside Malcolm McDowell and Richard Hatch. He also played an evil newspaper tycoon in Blue Dream from director Gregory Hayter-Darker. Currently, Koenig appears in the 80s throwback Neil Stryker and The Tyrant of Time from director Rob Taylor battling puppet goblins as science officer Ray Nabrowski. Humanitarian Work, In 2007, Koenig was asked by the human rights group U.S. Campaign for Burma to help in the grassroots campaign about the humanitarian crisis in Burma. As detailed on his official website, he visited refugee camps along the Burma-Thailand border from July 16 to July 25, 2007. Personal life. Koenig married Judy Levitt in 1965. In 1968 they had a son, actor Andrew Koenig, who died by suicide in 2010. They have a daughter, comedian and writer Danielle Koenig, who was married to comedian Jimmy Pardo. In September 2008, Koenig served as best man at the wedding of his Star Trek co-star George Takei to Brad Altman.